Residents in the Jane and Finch corridor have lost 4 teenagers to gun violence.
5 people suffering gunshot wounds.
5 people have been shot in the West End of Toronto.
And this is certainly something that has rocked this community.
I hope a lot of people learn from a story like this, know that it's possible. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're interested in, it can be done.
When you come from any part of inner city Toronto, basketball is life. Basketball was my first love, and because of that, I wanted to go to the NBA. That was my goal.
I had experience in the past where large guys looked like they couldn't play, but all of a sudden they just blow your mind. And I thought he was that one. I believe basketball was just one outlet that allowed kids to engage and keep themselves out of trouble.
We chose to bring the sport of football back to C.W. Jeffries because we saw a community of bright young students and we wanted to provide them with this opportunity.
When I was in my junior year at C.W. Jeffries, he came in and he was excited about his program. These are a bunch of kids that have only played basketball. We watched football, but there was no interest in it. And he came in with the Argos organization and he said, this is what we're here to do. We're here to bring football back to inner city schools, and we want to start with you guys.
This is a sport that can teach so many invaluable life lessons to the youth of our community.
He's been a part of the process since the beginning, and when I remember my first days in football, I'm always going to remember his face because someone believed in us enough to come over here and say, you know what, we don't know what the future holds with these kids, but we're still going to give them this opportunity. You know, one thing that football's taught me is that if you can look at the guy beside you and you know that he's gonna have your back no matter what, it's gonna push you to go harder. Without the level, the playing field program, I don't know where I would be today. I remember Jason saying that you never know the impact that this program's gonna have on a kid. You never know if it's gonna make a difference. You wonder. I grew up in Toronto my whole life. I went to middle school on Sentinel, and then I went to high school at C.W. Jeffries, which is on Sentinel. So it only made sense to go to York University, which was at the end of Sentinel. There's not many people that come from my community that will get that opportunity to play football, and you know, I had so much support.
I was nervous with any of the children whenever they're making that decision, or when it comes that time for them to make that decision to decide where they're going to move on to post-secondary.
I really wanted to be the change of Jane and Finch. I was tired of hearing all these negative things. You know, I wanted people to look at Jane and Finch and say, wow, like, you know, there's success there. If this guy can do it, so many other kids can do it. I represent Toronto, but Jane and Finch, it has my heart.
He wanted to let everybody know where he came from, that it is possible, that you could live in Jane and Finch and become this athlete that was very fortunate and successful in football.
Our next selection did take part in that East-West game process. Toronto, the Argos, they took a bit of a long shot.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God! How did I know?
When Toronto drafted me, I was in shock. That was the best possible thing that could happen to me and just for the people in my city.
I was filled with emotion, and I'm getting emotional right now because you never know what your children are going to be.
You know, I have memories and I have pictures of being in high school and running out on the field with Argonaut players. Like, it was always a crazy thought in my head, like, one day I want to be an Argo, one day I want to be an Argo. But I never thought that was actually going to happen. When I got drafted to Toronto, it was almost surreal to me, but it was just amazing. Like, it does not get any better than that.
I've coached hundreds of kids since I've been here, and there's a couple of them that stand out, and he's one of them.
I'm definitely grateful for the fact that I get to stay in my community and just, you know, be the motivation for the kids that they want to do something big in life.
I am very happy to see Jamal give back to his community. I think it's a very positive and necessary thing. I get the feeling that kids who see him will be inspired. They'll have hope that one can become successful despite having a lot of setbacks.
Please welcome home your 2016
anything in this world that you want to do, you can accomplish. You know, we're all faced with rough days and days where we feel like the world's against us, but one thing that always stuck true to me in anything, whether it was in school, whether it was in sports, whether it was in training, is control the controllables. That's all you can really do.